7, and we have Nextel Cup Series racing at the Dover International Speedway for the running of today's Neighborhood Excellence 400. Forgot the title name of the sponsor. I had to wait for it to go across the top of the screen there above the qualifying order. We did qualify on the pole moments ago, just before the start of the stream. Was also fastest in practice overall, but only qualified on the pole by 7/1000ths of a second. So it was definitely a close race. Lap 1, I was third. Was able to settle in lap 2, run just a slightly faster lap time, kind of backed up the corner entry a little bit more. Had a tighter setup when I began in practice, was making multiple adjustment changes throughout the session. Hopefully I've got the car dialed into where I needed to be in the race. I was not racing around any cars, so I don't know what this car will be like in traffic when we have to deal with lap traffic, or if we get stuck back in the pack at all. Coming off a 5th place finish yesterday in the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. We had 9 cautions in that race. We ended up leading 7 laps. I thought I only really led 1 during green flag pit stops. Apparently I led more. Might have been a slight game glitch, but needless to say, we would have had 5 bonus points regardless of the fact. But we'll see what this race is going to bring. I would imagine we'll be quicker. It's another kind of shorter racetrack, 1 mile in length. These tracks are my bread and butter, for those of you that don't know. On this game for myself, even with lesser equipment, driving as Dave Blaney. So although this is listed as an intermediate track, we should be pretty quick here today. Now when we go to Pocono and Michigan the next 2 days, I don't know about those 2 races. But this race in particular, got to take advantage, try to get that 10th win of the season. Green flags in the air, and we're underway, and a great start for the Hendrick Motorsports Chevys of Brian Vickers and Jimmy Johnson. They're going to pull off through turns 1 and 2 with the lead. It's already going to have to deal with traffic despite qualifying on the pole. Not a good launch on that initial restart for Blaney. And Vickers from the 2nd starting position is going to lead lap 1. I do feel like the car's tighter in 1 and 2 than what it is in 3 and 4 for some reason. Squeezed by Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car. Blaney holds his line. Clear. Corner exit. Blaney gets up against the wall. Johnson did also. A little contact with Ryan Newman in the 12 car. Still trying to catch it. Into the next corner. Jeez Louise. Well, it allows Vickers to pull away a little bit. Trying to settle in here. I ran practice, so I didn't think that I was going to have to settle in the race, but not having that great initial start did not help. Usually I have a good restart gear in it at Dover. I don't know why it didn't fire off well that time. Edwin Justice, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Dover's definitely a difficult track. That is for certain. Don't clip the apron here at all today, because bad things happen. Kind of like at Charlotte last night. Contact with Dale Jarrett. I clipped it in practice. That time I got out of the gas a little bit beforehand. More contact with Dale Jarrett. My goodness. Having a hard time. Ryan Newman just took the lead through 1 and 2 on Vickers, who led the first 5 laps of the race. Newman will get 5 bonus points at the line this time by. I'm actually shocked that I'm not leading this race. Right off the rip, Jarrett gets a little tight on that higher line into turns 1 and 2. Blaney has him cleared, and will still hold on in front of him down the back straightaway into turn 3. I think I'm going to have to free this car up just a little bit more. That was the downside of not being around any cars in traffic. The only good thing with being tighter, I don't have to worry about clipping the apron as much. But I'm having a hard time trying to turn going off into the corner. That was a better roll. That time, excuse me, through turns 1 and 2. It just floats. It floats up the racetrack. It doesn't have the floaty feel to it in the sense that the car doesn't feel light. It feels planted in the track. I really have to back these corners up more than what I feel like I should, just to get it to roll where I want it to. Just ran our fastest lap of the race that last time. Blaney on the inside of Vickers. Pass is made for second. And now trying to attack on Ryan Newman for the lead. Not sure exactly where Newman started. Caution. First yellow of the day. Looked like trouble off turn 4 back there. Did not take long to get that first yellow. And it looks like problems for the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield. Mayfield and Johnson get together off turn 4. Mayfield slides to the inside wall, and Jimmy got a piece of the outside wall, it looked like, as well. Both of them racing hard, and they ran out of room. Jimmy definitely got squeezed up there, though, I will say. He didn't have a lot of room in that upper lane. Well, hopefully we get the good launch on the restart this time. Ryan Berwick, thanks for tuning in. It's going to be a tougher race than I thought it was going to be. Green flag back in the air. Man, it feels like the car struggles going from first to second. I could hear the car that time. Felt like the engine was getting choked off. And Vickers gets around on the high side through 1 and 2. And right back into third place like we were on the initial start. Only one position lost, though, to fall back this time rather than 2. A dive on the next lap in 1 and 2 to get back underneath Vickers and into second. Newman pulling away. Late cautions are going to kill us if we're this bad on restarts. There's really not much I could do during the race to try to better that. Like, all the gearing changes obviously are made prior to the race through practice and stuff. I must have just missed it this week. Trying to roll through the center of the corner just a little bit better. The closer I get to the back of that 12 car, the harder it seems like it is to get the car to turn. Thirteenth race of the season, still not going to have a caution-free race. With that early yellow at lap 11. When he gets so close to that back bumper of Ryan Newman. And the car pushed and got up against the wall there off turn 2. Lost some time. Tried to just kind of steer out of it. I couldn't. There we go. Wider opening there by Newman getting into turn 1. So because of that, Blaney was able to get the steer in the car down on the bottom of the track without pushing up. And now he's got the positioning on Newman as they're side-by-side into turn 3. And Blaney's going to get out in front. So that slight mistake there by Ryan Newman is going to be just enough of an opening for Blaney to get through and lead his first lap of the race. And now we've got the clean air advantage. We'll see if we can hold on. Which may not be easy because that 12 car seems like it's got quite a bit of speed in it today. Actually battling Ryan Newman through the Southern 500. A couple of races ago. We were 1-2 most of the day, so 1-2 out of the gate. 2 races later here at Dover. So we actually lost points to that of Greg Biffle. Biffle went into the race last night third in the point standings, and he actually came out of the race in second, and we lost 16 points to second place despite finishing in 5th with laps led. Newman gets right on that rear spoiler of this 22 car, Dave Blaney, and corner exit. This car feels very loose. So he's definitely doing what he can to try to get to the lead here. Blaney up on the outside, had to lift to keep it off the wall, and Newman able to get back through to the lead again. I might have to just ride in line behind him, honestly. Wasn't expecting to have to do that, but that may be what we're going to have to do. Well, no, I'm not going to make that move. I'm going to be patient here. We got a lot of laps left, and I don't want to wreck it. I actually saved it when I clipped the apron in practice, but I don't want to have to do that again. That cost us at Charlotte last night. Still got a 5th place finish, but probably locked into a guaranteed top 4 at that time in the final 20 laps of the race, or 24 to go, I guess, when I spun. Don't need to do that early, especially with the car struggling in traffic. Oh boy. A lot of contact. A lot of contact with Ryan Newman. See Mark Martin up to 3rd behind us. Jeremy Mayfield back there in 4th. Georgia versus Texas today. Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch for sure. I've got Georgia. I know they struggled against Georgia Tech last week, but I still think that they're the better team through the second half of the season. And they beat them earlier this year. Georgia did. They beat Texas at Texas, and this is going to be more of a home game for Georgia, considering that the SEC title game's in Atlanta, Georgia. But yeah, give me the Dogs. Opening down on the bottom of the racetrack for Blaney. Couldn't get the drive off turn 4, though, to try to make that happen. Yeah, this is not going to be easy whatsoever to try to win this race. Yeah, I'm definitely just trying to settle in. A lot of racing to go. I can make more fine-tuned adjustments to the car as the race progresses. You know, at that point, I'll maybe try to push a little harder. But not right now. Try to put a little bit of a gap on the rest of the field behind us, too. That'd be nice. As long as we lead more laps than we did yesterday, that'd be an improvement, I think. Same amount of laps, too, so 400. 200 less miles, so this race is definitely going to be quicker. Newman really widens that entry off quite a bit. The problem is if I try to do that, I know I'm not going to be able to turn in when I'm in line behind him. Really tight that time. I was kind of looking low, but it was going to be a bluff, and I ended up just kind of floating it all the way up the racetrack. Almost got against the wall off turn 4. That was close. 22.247. That kind of came out of nowhere. Fastest lap of the race. Used to go to the bottom in 3 and 4 to pass. Yeah, I'm definitely tighter in 1 and 2. I am definitely tighter in 1 and 2 than I am in 3 and 4. But yeah, that apron, it's more forgiving at some tracks in this game, but not this one. The AI just run you so tightly to the bottom of the racetrack, too. I'm glad I qualified on the pole. If I would have tried to do what I did last night and come from the back of the field, I don't know that I would have been able to make it through without wrecking, honestly. Especially considering there was that early crash behind us with Mayfield and Johnson on lap 11. That would have caused a stack up, too. We're not that far from that first lap car. I mean, that goes to show how fast Newman is, though. I haven't had many opportunities to really try to pass him here. You know, what little opportunities I've had, I passed him the one time, and then he got us back a couple laps later, but I don't know. What's up, Thomas? Thanks for tuning in. I suck at Dover. Yeah, I don't know. I'm usually better here, honestly. I usually have a faster car. Like I said, though, I've said it the last 2 races we've done with the Cup Series. Took all that time running bush and truck races, modified races, and better equipment. And from where I was to coming back, you know, you look at the season statistics of how many wins I've had this year, but in those races, I've very rarely had the fastest car in the field. You know, we've had a few strategy wins on the year, and with doing these full races, it kind of lays the hand in maybe trying to do that more often. So just off of prior success at Dover, usually I have one of the fastest cars here, and I definitely have one of the fastest cars today, but Newman's quick, and it's kind of just like the Southern 500 where I was leading the brunt of the laps, and he was right there in second, only this time he's leading the majority of the laps, and I'm in second. Looks like it might be Paul Menard at the very rear of the field up here. The good news is we got our 5 bonus points already. I don't lead the most laps again today. At least Newman's not the guy that's second in points right now. I did not get the car to turn well there. I had to lift closer to the exit of the corner. I might have gotten away with not doing that, but hit the wall a few times already, and I don't want to bang the car up too badly this early in the race either. Oh, he got loose getting into turn 1. Really rolled the entry well, but then I didn't get the turn in the center of the corner. He messed up the first half, and I messed up the second half. That allowed him to get a little bit better drive off. Newman stuck behind the 15 car of Paul Menard. Finally going to look to the inside of Menard here. Heavy brakes that time used by the 22. So we get by the lapper of Paul Menard ourselves through 1 and 2 and get right back to Newman's back bumper. Gosh darn it. I just can't run close behind him. The only reason I passed that one time is because he got wide into turn 1. I got underneath him and completed the pass on the other end of the track in 3 and 4. There we go. I got a good drive off that time. But he ran so far off the wall and corner exit that I couldn't get underneath him. Ooh, don't do that. Difficult little racetrack here in Dover, Delaware. All right, halfway out of gas. Should be a 3-stop race today. Lost a lot of time the last couple laps. Like how I get further behind him and I can get the car to rotate through the center of the corner again. Just wait till we get into heavy lap traffic. That's where I'm really going to be struggling. Luckily, this first fuel run, we haven't had to deal with heavy lap traffic yet. We've only passed one lap car, and that was Menard a few laps ago. Kyle Knapp, thanks for tuning in. I would try spitting him out. That's what I don't want to do that. I tried to let these races play out naturally. You know, I'll retaliate if somebody wrecks me intentionally or something like that, but he hasn't done anything. I mean, we've raced each other clean. He's blocking, but he's making clean blocks. You know, it's not like he chopped my nose off, made contact, or anything like that. Reed Sorensen in the 41. Way less pit stops, obviously, in this race than what we had last night, so that's going to be less opportunity to try to make adjustments to the car. Oh, I overdrove the entry there. Saw that slight wiggle. Up the track it went. Reed Sorensen was already on our outside, so I couldn't really get back into the gas. Kind of drive out of it. I say maybe we can beat him in the pits and get around him that way, but knowing that the pit crews, at least last night, was slower, that might not be a pathway around him. He leaves about a half a lane open, but that's it. And that's just not enough for me to feel confident in the race car to try to make the move. Here we go. I actually got underneath him off turn 2 that time. Down into turn 3. And clear. Off turn 4. Finally got him. What a battle. Question is now, can we drive away? And I wasn't able to do that when I passed him about 20 laps into the race. Dave Blaney leads. Pushing. Kyle Petty got up against the wall. Dang it, man. I got him for one lap. Had him that one time. Here we go again. I don't know if we got it in the bag. It's only lap 67, but... Spun out with Tony Stewart trying to make a pass. Oh, I was just reading it. Got retracted. Yeah, it's not easy. The only reason I'd rather have a tighter car than a looser car is just because at least it's playing into the track. And it's only because I do full races. Obviously, you know, I'd be all right with a looser setup if I didn't have to hold on for a loose car for 100 laps during a green flag run before a pit stop. Like to, you know, try not to crash as many times as possible. Newman on the inside. Oh, I did that. Crowded him too much on the back straightaway, and I only pushed myself up the racetrack. Dang. Newman loose in. See if we can pick him behind the 40 of Sterling Marlin. Not quite going to get him there. I tried. Man, even the lap cars running on that outside lane, it's just so hard for me to commit to getting back into the gas when I want to think I can clear. Because if I don't, I'm going right up into the wall with them. Especially with how tight the car is. I doubt I'm going to be able to turn off of somebody if I make contact. That was a great 3 and 4. I mean, it's definitely been a fun race so far, I will say. As good of a battle for the lead at Dover as you're going to get. Both these guys, a little bit of an edge of control. And he drove it in so deep that time. Got 2 lap cars that these two are closing in on. Fantasy driver in the 142. That's 7 cars. Robbie Gordon up ahead. Yeah, I gave up too much at the bottom trying to get by Robbie Gordon there. 142 car almost got underneath us. I was giving him room just in case he was there because I couldn't tell. He was in my blind spot on the rearview mirror. Cars One Boy, thanks for tuning in. I really don't know what's going on with the face cam on this laptop, to be completely honest. It's so random. Like, I went to stream the one day, and it was, like, blacked off. Man, it's so weird. Every setting I tried to go into to look to see what's wrong, like, I can't find anything. It's like it's not turning on is the problem. Or it's on, but it's not showing anything. It's just like cancel out on OBS. Hello, Newman, indeed. Tried to diamond the corner off that time. Get that good cut underneath. Newman led that time at the line. Right front's going away on us. I can't commit. I get underneath him in turn one. I know if I don't back the corner up, it's going to go straight. Especially deeper into this run. You know, later in the race, I will. But I'm really trying to do my best to not have to fight from behind. The last two races, we've had to come from a lap down at one point. Granted, those were because of untimely cautions in the middle of green flag pit stops, so I'm hoping we don't have to do that 3 races in a row, but we've gotten bailed out with a couple cautions the last couple times. I don't know that that's going to happen again. Oop. The wall straight there, down the back straight. I'm focusing so hard. Like, I am literally doing all I can right here. When did I start watching NASCAR? Couldn't tell you exactly. I can kind of vividly start remembering stuff from like 2003-ish, but I've probably been watching it since I came out of the womb, to be completely honest. I don't know for sure. Like, I can't pinpoint like what my first race was I watched because I was just so young. And about to get into those first pit stops. Oh, he went way wide. This is tight. That is tight. There was very little room. Man, I lost a lot of ground. Right in the center of the corner that time. Yeah, that lapper snuck underneath me too. 174 car. Yeah, he's still there. Hit him with that crossover. Oh boy, that was a slide job. I had him cleared though. Oh man, get away from me, guy. That stinks too, because Newman was getting held up by the 123 and then the 5 of Kyle Busch too. Right at the same time. Drive underneath Busch. Holman already going a second lap down already. Oh, he just hit me. Menard hit me right in the center of the corner. I was lower than Newman, so I definitely didn't move up the track. Yep, we've got some cars pitting. Trying to pit a little early. Looks like. Definitely before lap 100. Oh, wow, a lot of smoke on the back straightaway. No caution. I don't know what that was from. And a lot of clean air in front of Newman now as there's a ton of cars down on pit road. Is Dale Jarrett underneath us? Oh, I had him cleared. I shoved getting into the corner. Oh, he's there now. Fresh tires, Dale Jarrett. Look out. He wasn't there at the start of the corner, but he was there in the center of the corner. We got a lot of other cars coming out of the pits here, too. Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, Newman trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack. Newman trying to pit. And he does. And that will give the lead to Dave Blaney. Haven't made it to lap 100 yet. I'm not pitting until I at least get to lap 100. I don't care how much time I lose to Newman. Hopefully we can end up getting some of it back. Lap 99. Ooh, I'm glad he hit the wall. Because if he didn't, I think I was going to make contact with him right off the exit of the corner. But that slowed him down just enough. I'm definitely going to be making an air pressure adjustment when I come down to pit road. I'm even going to go a few laps past the lap 100 too. Because that caution that came out early in the race, we probably saved 3 laps under yellow. And we're not the last car to pit either. Whoever's in second's 8 seconds off the lead, so I'd still go a lap down if I were to pit now. I just, 2 races in a row, having the untimely cautions, I really want to just kind of go as far as I can. Just try to make that ground back up. I will be making an adjustment. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be making an air pressure adjustment. I'm not going to mess with the wedge, at least on the first stop. If I have to, on the second stop, I will. Well, it's got that 1 lap lead now. My fuel indicator still isn't even in the dark red yet. That's good for us. Keep going. Maybe we catch a caution and we trap them all a lap down. Ran out of gas, switch to Kyle Busch real fast. I think I'm looking at lap 108. I don't have anybody to switch to. Dave Blaney's all we've got on this season. So lap 108 we'll be making our first stop of the day. Means we would have went 105 green flag laps then, excluding the 3 caution laps we would have had. All right, Blaney's coming in. That was a solid pit road entry. 2 pounds of air pressure all the way around. That will be our adjustment. 4 tires. Full Sunoco race fuel. Clean stop by the boys. 1 for 1. How much time did I give up to Newman? Oh, we still get the lead. Hold on. There he is. I actually didn't lose much time. Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, thought he was going to try to clear me there, getting into the corner. That was close. All right, so Kyle Busch, first car lap down. Only 0.8 of a second off the lead. That ain't bad. That's make-upable. Jackman had to go around the tire changer and cost me time. I didn't notice that. You talk about when they got to the left side of the car? Got an opening. Kyle Busch just unlapped himself on Ryan Newman. Newman was stuck on the outside. Squeezes Dave Blaney down on the bottom of the track. A little contact. Oh my gosh. I just immediately jammed on the brakes as soon as we made contact. I didn't want to wreck. Ay, ay, ay. Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon right there. Are they for position? They might have been some of the first cars to pit road. Left side of the car. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Well, I thought it was a clean stop. I do feel like the adjustments have made the car more free, so that's good. We'll see what we can do. Newman's still probably going to be a kidney stone to try to pass, but we'll do what we can. Looking to the inside. Hopefully there's no contact this time around. Into turn 1. Grips the bottom of the track. And Dave Blaney's clear. Yeah, by bumping the air pressure up, we start the run with higher air pressure, we'll finish the run with higher air pressure. So as it maybe frees up on the long run, that's what I was hoping for with the change. Just ran our fastest lap of the race as soon as we passed Newman, so I mean that's a step in the right direction. I might not have to adjust the wedge, honestly. Dale Jr. is pressuring Ryan Newman now. They get to battling back there for what I believe would be second place. Dave Blaney might be able to start to pull away finally. I can't believe that's all it took to free the car up just enough. Like, I can wrap the bottom of the track a lot better now than I could before. We'll see how it is 50, 60 laps from now, but so far, so good. Somebody's up against a wall in turn 1 and 2. There was a car way up there I saw up against the fence. No yellow, though. Haven't had a caution since lap 11. Little over 100 lap green flag run. We had 2 runs yesterday of longer than 100 laps under green. One of them was over 200 laps. The other one was over 100. So that's over 300 consecutive laps of green flag racing. Between those two runs alone, we still had 9 cautions. It just seemed like whenever we'd get a caution, we'd just have a flurry of them. I believe we had 4 or 5 of them in the last 50 laps. So Newman is starting to fade. He's now back to 4th after dominating the first run. I wonder if he went the wrong way, with an adjustment change. Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle. Just knocked Busch up against the fence. Might have drove it in there a little too deep. Dale Jr.'s closing in, but Ryan Newman in the 12 is fading. Jeff Gordon got around him. Dale Jr.'s in P2. And maybe Dale Jr. is going to be the one to beat now. Just getting by J.J. Yaley. He's not off the pace and slow like he was yesterday, so that's good. Dale Jr. is definitely putting a ton of pressure here on Dave Blaney. I thought I was just going to start running away with it because we were pulling away from Newman, but something's not right for that 12th car. Dale Jr. is now the one putting the pressure as he tries to lead for the first time today. The only drivers to lead laps through the first 125 would be Newman, Blaney, and Brian Vickers led the first 5 laps of the race. After starting second, we haven't seen Vickers in a long time. I haven't lapped him yet, though, either. So he's probably back half of the top 10 or something like that. Maybe a little outside the top 10. He's definitely in the top half of the field. So I don't really think we've lapped a whole lot of cars. A lot of them I have lapped. I've lapped more than once, like Petty right there. And I know like Paul Menard we've lapped a couple times. Jeff Gordon's starting to creep in closer and closer as well. I just got to do what Newman did. I don't have to get all the way close to the asphalt down below the concrete on the bottom of the track and risk spinning out. But if I keep just a half a lane there, he's not going to be able to have enough car to get underneath me. And that's kind of what I was struggling with when I would get behind him. So we learned from the AI how to defend on the lead. We're going to try to manage it the best we can. I don't know that I'm going to make another adjustment change, honestly. Like, the car feels a lot better than it did before. It's not tight at all. We know David Stremmy's already off the lead lap. I don't know about Sterling Marlin in the 14 car up there. Stremme going way wide. Plenty of room to get by. Oh boy, Dale Jr. did get underneath me. I did not give him a lot of room. He did a great job getting there. Still going to try to crowd him as much as I could. Wow, what a move by Dale Earnhardt Jr. And he is clear off of turn 2. I mean, he just beat me there. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. Wow, what a pass. I just got to make sure he doesn't pull away from us. Man, he got stacked up behind Jeff Burton in the 31 there. Jeff Gordon wasn't quite getting through those lap cars as well as the 8 and the 22 here. Now I'm tucked in line behind him. The car's pushing a little bit. I was out in front of him. I wasn't doing that. All right, Jeff, you're going to have to give me more room than you did with him. I don't trust that I can hold my car off the apron down there. All right, there we go. Thank you. He didn't do it in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, he gave me a little bit more room. Seriously, though, where did Dale Jr. come from? I mean, we were over 100 laps into this green flag run. We got through green flag pit stops, and then all of a sudden, he was just kind of creeping in on us. We got by Newman, led for about 20 to 30 laps, and then got passed by Dale Jr. Yeah, I made a big mistake. I had a slightly later breakfast. I didn't eat till like 9. So I wasn't quite hungry enough to eat before the start of the stream. I should have had something small, because now I'm not going to eat till like 3 o'clock. Yeah, I banged myself on that one. I should have just had like a granola, just something small. Now I'm going to be feasting as soon as I get done with this. By the way, I didn't mention it yet. I was talking about I was going to get the Buffalo Wild Wings on Thursday night before the Packers game. And our stream got over, plenty of time, got the wings. They went very skimpy on my sauce that night. I was a little upset. Hate it when they do that. I'd rather have too much than too little. Like, I feel like there's never that even point of sauce when you go to B-dubs. They either give you way too much or way too little. I had way too little. I had like a bunch of the wings in the middle of the box, like they had sauce on them, but on the edge, like all the way around the exterior of the box, there was like no sauce on any of the wings. It was like they just put the wings in the box and then they just like threw the sauce in the middle of it, and there was nothing else. 4-stop race? No, it's a 3-stop race for sure. I almost wonder, all those cars, well, there was at least one car that went past 100 laps with us. So we're not going to be the only one that's going to make it on 3 stops. But everybody else, they pitted before lap 100. So it is going to be a little interesting to see exactly when they pit. Be a bit of a difference maker. Ah, I clipped the apron pretty bad there. I know enough now that when I feel like I'm about to clip it, it's better to just slow the car way down. Struggling trying to get by this 101 Walmart car. If he doesn't give me enough room, I'm going to stop getting groceries at Walmart. Going to boycott Walmart. By the way, Walmart needs to start selling more 124 NASCAR diecasts like they used to when I was growing up. They sell the 164 scale. I'd say they've been, at least at my local Walmarts around me. I haven't been back there in a minute, but I would just kind of go to see what they had. And, because, you know, that's the inner child in me. But, they've actually had a pretty good selection the last couple of years when I've infrequently gone back there. I wish they'd start selling 124 scale so I could, like, add to my collection without having to just only get cars at tracks. It's way cheaper than buying them online. Need to sell Dave Blaney. I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Almenard going to lose yet another lap. Denny Hamlin, I think, is about to lose his first lap. Lap 150. I was maybe a little too patient trying to get by Hamlin there. There we go. He gave a lot more room on entry to one. A little contact with his left rear corner panel still and able to make the pass. Oh, he's got the FedEx Express paint scheme today. It ain't just FedEx. He's got the Express on the car today. Which is kind of weird. Because isn't the whole term FedEx Federal Express, but like in one word? So when they say FedEx Express, then what's the point of the X part on the FedEx? Because then it's basically just Federal Express at that point. Hamlin's all over the back of this 22 car. Can't shake him. He wants to get his lap back. That scared me. Denny needs to back off. He'll have his time to shine at Dover some other race. Now is not the time. Actually got underneath me a little bit that last corner. He's putting a fight. Now imagine how good he'd be if he put the fight up before going a lap down. You know, maybe he'd be in the top 10. Maybe. Express coming through, he must have heard you. Maybe. Maybe he did. Overdrove the entry into turn one. Yep, Hamlin's going to get right back underneath this again. Dang it, Denny. That was my fault that time. Gave him a little donut on the number 11 on the right side of his car. Gosh! Get out of my way! I've got better places to be. Oh, he just hit the wall off turn 2. It's karma. Got an F1 diecast at Walmart? I didn't even know they sold those. I haven't noticed them. I would imagine they'd be right now. Because, I mean, the NASCAR stuff's pretty much mixed in with the Hot Wheels stuff every time that I've Ever gone to Walmart? Kmart, by the way, back in the day, they used to have a ton more NASCAR diecasts. At least at the local one closest to me, they would have way more NASCAR stuff there than what Walmart had. R.I.P. to Kmart in the chat. That I used to like going there for that stuff. They had way more cars there. A lot of my 164 scale diecast collection honestly came from my local Kmart that I have. I got some from Walmart, but Kmart usually had a lot of them. Like, it's insane that I would be able to find, like, a David Stremme diecast or something like that at a Kmart. A Reed Sorensen I have. Like, I have a bunch of them. Like, the obscure ones. You go to Walmart back in those days, and they would have, like, Gordon and Earnhardt and Jimmy Johnson. You know, my favorite guy was Greg Biffle. I always have a hard time trying to find some Biffle ones there, but Kmart would have, you know, a lot more variety of Greg Biffle stuff. Pretty tight getting by the 123 car there. Don't see third, man. You must be 3 seconds or more behind. Yeah, Jeff Gordon just, once Dale Jr. got to the lead and really put the pressure on me to try to keep up with him, Gordon doesn't have the pace to keep up with us at that point. I'm curious to find out where Ryan Newman's going to finish in this race, just because he led almost 100 laps in this race and just nowhere to be found now. A lot of lap traffic right in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. A little contact there. Earnhardt underneath the 01 of Nemechek. There's Brian Vickers, tail end of the lead lap. Just up ahead of the top two. Now I'm close enough behind Dale Jr. I really want to pick him behind a lap car, but it'll probably be tough. Oh, big run for Blaney. Right off the corner here. He's going to go for it. Turn one. 3 wide with the lapper up on the outside, and Blaney going to get through to the lead yet again. Here at Dover, all clear. Off turn 2. Yeah, you hear what that crew chief said? He said if he's going to get back by him, make him work. I don't know how he got around me before that. I mean, I was hitting my marks, and he just slipped on by me, just drove it in deeper. Or something into turn 1. I gave him a half a lane, and he was, like, on that asphalt down to the bottom of the track. He wasn't actually on it, but you couldn't get much more race car close to it than what he did. Fastest lap of the race that last time for Blaney again as he gets by David Stremme, who was actually in the wall off turn 4, the corner before that. So Dave Blaney and Dale Jr. continue to run towards the front of the field, but this time it's back to the 22 car leading again. We still got to catch Newman for those laps led. I led about 30 laps before Earnhardt took the lead from me, then he led for about 30, 40. Led for a few real early in the race, too. 2:11 to pit. I think I'll be able to go a little further than that, I would imagine. Almost halfway through the race. We will still have 2 pit stops remaining. Trying to keep a lower exit off the corner. Doing everything I can to just make sure Dale Jr. isn't going to have enough of a run on corner exit to get underneath us, so that way by the time the corner entry, the next turn comes up, he's still in our rear view. Rather than on the inside. I can run a little bit wider in the center of the corner without him getting underneath me. That's how I'm able to really get the cut off. Kind of ran a lane and a half off the bottom of the track through the middle so I can get the cut needed by the exit to run as low as I am. I'm just kind of changing my line a little bit here. I feel like it's working. I mean, he hasn't really put too much pressure on us yet. Like, he's there, but there's like a couple car length of a gap between us. 20.060 that last lap for Blaney, his fastest lap of the race. As he looks to the inside of the 26 of Jamie McMurray now. With the Lennox paint scheme I think McMurray's got in this one. It's an underrated scheme, the Lennox Industrial Tool scheme. Haven't seen that in a minute. Casey Kane about to go a lap down. Yeah, most tracks, when the fuel indicator gets to the dark red, especially with the intermediate tracks in particular, you can usually go 4 full laps before you have to pit. The shorter tracks, it's kind of more like 8, but... So we might even be able to go more than 4, but I won't go more than 4 here. Especially with our pace quickening. Dale Jr. still struggling to get by Casey Kane and Michael Waltrip. Might actually be the largest lead of the race for Dave Blaney right now. 0.7 of a second. Kane a lap down. Wonder how many cars are on the lead lap still. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it can't be many. I mean, we've gone green for over 150 laps. We had that caution at lap 11, and that was it. That incident with Jimmy Johnson and Jeremy Mayfield, and there hasn't been an incident since. Scott Riggs going to give plenty of room to Dave Blaney. Blaney gets to the bottom of the racetrack. I'm definitely not going to be making an adjustment change on this next stop. Honestly, I think I had done well for myself. The track really doesn't change at all in these older EA games. You know, maybe it will when iRacing has their game with NASCAR 25 next year. So once you find the setup, sure, could I make it faster? Maybe. But it's fast enough at the moment, and knowing that each of these runs, even the final run, I'm going to have to run at least 80 to 90 laps plus on tires. I don't want to risk it and have to suffer. I mean, if Dale Jr. just gets quicker, then... No, maybe I'll try to find a little bit something else for our next stop, but... I think we've got a good balance going for ourselves right now, because even this deep into the run, we're still running good. By the way, I haven't even hit a quarter tank of gas left at this point in the run. I'm at lap 186. We're managing great fuel economy right now. And to try to lead as many laps as I can, I'll just stay out as long as I can again. Dale Jarrett, first car to pit road, as he's in there right now. Interested to see where Dale Jr. pits. See if he could cycle to the lead in front of Dave Blaney when everything gets through. But a few others are on pit road. Within a lap or two, you're going to see a lot of cars down there. Dale Jr. still out on the track. Billy Kramer, welcome into the stream. Trying to clear Sadler, just did. We're getting off into turn 3. Dale Jr. still out there. He hasn't pit yet. Stays out this time by as well. Closes in behind his current teammate Paul Menard. Still only half a second off the lead from Dave Blaney. He might be better on the shorter side of the run than the longer side too. Maybe that's how I was able to kind of get ahead and manage the gap a little better now than what I could earlier in the run. A little bit more long run speed. Smart Truex Jr. in the one car, leaving pit road. Truex our winner in the Coke 600 yesterday. It actually gives first win for DEI this season. Second win for Chevy. Kevin Harvick got a win earlier in the year. Harvick actually won the Daytona 500. So Chevy 2 for 2, or 2 for 3, I should say, on the Crown Jewels. Dodge, obviously, with Dave Blaney winning the Southern 500, got the other one, but 600 for Truex. Harvick with the 500. No, he's not. Does it look like he's giving room? Doesn't look like it to me. 105 car. Might be able to slip underneath him into turn 1. Had to follow him by the 42 of Casey Mears first. Everybody on the lead lap has made their second stop of the race other than current race leader Dave Blaney. Earnhardt has come down within the last few laps. And he's going to see if he could cycle to the lead in front of the 22 by pitting early. Blaney's going to continue to try to run long. We've definitely got quite a bit of fuel to be able to do that. .057 that last lap. Fastest lap of the race again. Definitely great to do that deep in the run on the lighter fuel load. We have seen that in this game quite a few times, really. I've been able to do something like that. Cool contact with that 103. Slipped up the track just a little bit, trying to make that aggressive move into turn one. Halfway home, 200 laps down, 200 to go here at Dover. Got your Christmas shopping done? I really haven't done much Christmas shopping to this point. I do know what I'm going to get for everybody, so at least that's good. It's just a matter of me actually making the purchases. Well, 2.5 weeks yet. Still looking good. I'll probably actually go out on Monday. Go out and get all the stocking stuffers on Monday. It's going to be my game plan. It's supposed to be actually warmer here this weekend where I live. It's supposed to be in the 50s tomorrow and Monday, so break out of the brutally cold weather we've had throughout all this week. Yesterday it was upper 20s again. It's pretty much been in the 20s as a high 4 or 5 days in a row. And there were a couple days the week before that that were also around that. Like Thanksgiving was pretty cold. It was actually flurrying on Thanksgiving night. I pretty much had snow almost every day during that stretch of the cold weather, too. Like any day it's been below 30, we've had some sort of snow. Whether it be just flurries or slight accumulation, some dusting, but it's been something. Yeah, I'll do another cup race tomorrow. We got Pocono coming up tomorrow. And we'll have a same noon start time for that. Especially with my Packers already playing on Thursday. So another early stream tomorrow. And then that will leave Michigan for Monday night. I'm back to the modifieds during the week when I get back to work. Salt Menard smacked the wall as Jimmy Johnson was underneath him trying to make the pass. We're going to pit at lap 211. Stay out this time. I'll pit the next lap. Under 90 laps to go. Oh boy, 3 wide. I was way out of the gas there. I did not feel comfortable running 3 wide like that. Couldn't keep it off the apron. Let Mark Martin live to fight another lap. Oh, wow. Speeding. That was close. I had a tough time trying to back it down onto pit road there. 1 mile per hour over. Oh, man. That's all it got me by. I had 71 at the line. I had a tough time trying to back it down right in the middle of the corner. And then by the time I got to the apron and tried to slow down a little more, it was too late. Speeding police has captured Dave Blaney. That's definitely going to drop us out of the lead. I kind of figured I was going to lose. Yeah, there goes Earnhardt. He's going to be quite a ways out ahead of us. Still being second. Jeff Gordon's next car right behind us as we try to get up to speed. Well, it wasn't as smooth as I had in practice or the first green flag stop in the race. 4.8 seconds off the lead. Actually, with the 5-second penalty, I might have actually still been the leader if we had not sped. $15 to 20 lap pressure tires in Earnhardt right now, so front part of this run should be a little bit quicker than him to try to make up that time. The old speeding police nabbed Dave Blaney. At least it's not ridiculously late in the race. Clean pit stop by the pit crew, though. They did their job. I just didn't do mine.
Number 96, right side.
1 mile per hour. I saw that 71 right as we hit the commitment line. The speed limit's 70 at every track on this game. I do like that the more modern games, the speeding with the Heat games, it was varied based on the racetrack size, which is how it actually is. Kyle Petty will contact with the wall. Jeremy Mayfield trying to make a pass. Ooh, that was a dangerous spot to make contact with the 45 of Petty there. Right in the middle of the corner, too. Danger spot on the track and on the car. Yeah, I think Oregon's going to beat Penn State. I think of the marquee matchups today, I would take Oregon over Penn State, Georgia over Texas, and then I think Clemson's actually going to win the ACC title game. SMU's probably been the better team all season, but I don't know. It's a big game like that, and it's out on the East Coast, which I think will help them. SMU's in Texas, more of a home game for Clemson, so yeah, give me Clemson for that one tonight. I think coaching experience in a big game like that too this late in the season probably helps them. I don't know who SMU's coach, to be completely honest. I haven't watched a single down of SMU football this year, but I know Dabo Swinney, and he's been great for a while, even with teams that he's had that necessarily haven't been as great, kind of like this year, but good enough to try to get the job done. Leads down to 1.4 seconds. Dale Jr. Dave Blaney. Blaney trying to run him down after a speeding penalty on pit road. About 0.2 a lap faster since leaving pit road. I had a bit of a bobble in the middle of the corner. I haven't had that major mistake yet, so that's good. We've been up inside the top, really 4 all day. I think I fell to 4th at one point real early in the race in that initial start, but made the right adjustment on that first pit stop. Car's been perfect, didn't even make an adjustment the last time, but lost time because of the speeding police catching me, and here we are. A lot of the apron. That wasn't Junior that squeezed me. It was that 123 car I was trying to catch. Now Earnhardt shuts the door into 3. Looking for a pathway to the inside for the lead here. Blaney in turn 1. Earnhardt way wide. Easily cleared through the center of the corner. And Dave Blaney out in the lead yet again here at Dover. Lap 231. Working on lap 232 at the line for that official lead change. See if we can get away from him just a little bit like we did on the last run. Lap traffic kind of broke it up, though. There isn't a whole lot of lap traffic near us at the moment. Like 2 cars and then a big break. 1 car, big break. Not quite as condensed as what it was the back half of that last fuel run. Gotta make sure I don't speed that next time. I do think if we get a caution, everybody's going to pit, so that's the only question mark on it being a 4-stop race. Because we saw that in the 600 yesterday, where it was pretty much going to be a 5-stop race, but then it turned to 6 with a caution. Everybody came to pit. Well, I wouldn't say everybody. There were a few guys that stayed out, but I'd imagine most of the field is probably going to pit if we saw a caution. Maybe we see some split strategy again like we did yesterday. So, I mean, we still got a lot of laps left. I'm not going to doubt that we could see another yellow. Been over 200 laps. Speaking of which, look at all the smoke on the front straightaway. There was nearly a yellow last lap as I was talking about it. I think the game heard me. It's like, yellow? Okay. Skid marks everywhere. The front stretch. Blaney underneath Jeff Burton. Burton going to go multiple laps down in the 31 car. I could see IndyCar racing at Dover if the straightaways were maybe a little bit more wide. I feel like the back straightaway in particular, it's very narrow. So I feel like passing there would be very difficult. But the speeds would be up with the bank corner. It may work actually. I mean, they race at Nashville. That's a bigger track than Dover, so I don't see why Dover wouldn't work. And they're both concrete tracks, too. So when it comes to, like, tire wear, I think it would be okay. Ooh. The 103 and the 105 car look almost identical to one another. I was kind of thinking to myself when I was catching up to him, like, didn't I just pass this guy? I was like, oh, that was a 103. They might be teammates. That would probably make sense. Quick race update. Caution lap 11. Started on the pole. Brian Vickers led the first 5 laps. Then Ryan Newman took the lead. Got to the caution on the restart. We ran top 4 the whole race. We've been the last to pit during the green flag pit cycling. So we hadn't fallen out of the lead during that. And that first restart following that only caution we've seen so far, like I said, fell to 3rd on that restart. The initial start, we fell to 4th. Yeah, took the lead from Newman. Newman got it back. We pretty much led the entirety of the next however many laps it took up until our pit stop. And Newman cycled back into the lead, eventually got around him on the next run early going. Dale Jr. caught past us. Then towards the back half of that run, within the final 20 to 30 laps of our next pit stop, we got back to the lead again. Sped on pit road, lost the lead again to Dale Jr., made up the time, took the lead about a little less than 20 laps ago from where we're at now. So currently on about a 230, 240 lap green flag run. Almost 240. And we still have to pit one more time yet in the race. At least one more. If we get any more cautions, that'll lead into more pit stops, but one more to make it on fuel. I'm still interested to see if some of the AI end up pitting again. I would not be surprised if we see some cars pit a 4th time at the end of the race, because we've seen guys pit pretty early in the runs. But not everybody. We've had a couple guys be able to go 100 laps on a run, other than us. I am going to have to take a bathroom break at some point here, too. I made the mistake of not going before the start of the stream. I don't think I'll make it the final 150 laps. So we might have a slight pause in the action here pretty soon. Ideally, I'd like to make it to the next pit stop. I hate pausing it while I'm like in the middle of hitting my marks and stuff, because I feel like as soon as I unpause it, it takes me a few laps to get back into rhythm again. Okay, here's a 103. Catching him again. I mean, this car is, yeah, it is very similar to that 105. I feel like I caught past him pretty quickly, too. I didn't think I passed him that many laps before the 105 car. Yeah, don't speed on pit road again, that's for sure, too. Rain, yeah, it'll be a rain delay. Miss races, worked so much. Couple weeks. Hey, all good, man. Appreciate that you tune in when you do. I mean, yeah, the car's feeling fine. I don't think I'll be making any adjustments on the final stop either when we get there. That'd be cool if NASCAR 25 had some sort of a rain setting. I've always wanted that in a NASCAR game. The ability to like have a race end before the expected finish. That would change strategy up so much. Just like it would in real life. Get past halfway. And any lap could be the last if there's rain. Oh, slight bobble, clip the apron there. Off turn 2. Earnhardt had a little bit of a run, but not enough to try to make the move in 3 and 4. Garrett Spear, 32, thanks for tuning in. First time watching one of my streams, liking it, appreciate it. Try to put myself back in the daily grind of doing these full races through the off season especially. And once we get into the actual NASCAR season, we do realistic commentary streams, live commentary streams is what I call them, during the actual NASCAR races. The Cup Xfinity truck, and then as well as qualifying and practice for the Cup Series too. So I'll be doing that all next season like I did last year. And didn't start doing truck and Cup every single race until this season, but season before that we did all the Cup races. Outside of races that I go to in person, of course, so clearly I'm not able to do it at the track. You got race highlight videos from the grandstands for those as well. I usually have my camera up too, but I've been having issues with it all week and trying to figure out why it's not working on this laptop. One of these days it'll be back up, hopefully sooner rather than later. Got a lot of lap traffic coming up. We're getting pretty close. This thing wobbles. Somebody's up against the wall, it looked like. I've seen cars get up against the wall pretty frequently in this race, honestly. That guy's still up against the fence. Seems like it's only in turns 1 and 2 where he gets up against the wall. 3 and 4, he kind of holds that outside lane a little bit better. I literally only did that kind of, I did 2 reaction videos. One, they both got copyrighted. And then for 2, I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to try it out because I'd seen pretty much all of them before that, so I was just kind of reacting as a NASCAR fan to them. But I don't know. It was hard to keep man, I can't talk. It's hard to keep authenticity into those, just because I'd already seen a lot of the stuff that was on there before. You know, I lived watching it live during a lot of them. Oh, Brian Vickers blowing a motor, bottom of the racetrack. Earnhardt and Blaney had to go a little wide on the entry into 3. Is that the first car we've seen blowing an engine today? I haven't noticed anybody blow a motor before that. Vickers, who led early on, started second, was running a lap down at the time of the DNF. He is definitely going to be out, and I mean, we'll see if he returns later. Don't have a lot of time left in the race, though. Little over 100 laps to go. We're probably not too far away from seeing our third pit stop of the race for a lot of these other drivers. We saw a couple of them pit just before lap 190 earlier. I do like how visible all the skid marks are. I feel like they're more clear here because it's a concrete track versus if it was asphalt. But it is pretty wild. A couple times we've seen smoke down the front straightaway, and then all those skid marks are still there. I think they go away under the caution, but we just haven't had a caution in a long time. Sadler, Casey Mears losing another lap. There's 3 lap cars, it appears, maybe 4 between Earnhardt and Blaney, and that's because we've had some cars cycle off of pit road in between us, as well as the last couple of cars that last lap we just passed to put between the 8 and the 22. And even running that last run as long as we did, and knowing that we're going to be running this next run pretty long as well, if I don't speed on pit road this time, I think I could actually stay in the lead, because we probably would have that first time. So some of the leaders are pitting, not Dale Jr., and obviously Blaney's going to stay out for a little while yet. We're going to be able to go past lap 310 for sure. I would say somewhere around lap 315. We pitted at lap 211. Only 70 laps to go at the line there. No more lap cars between the top 2 anymore. Yeah, I think with the current car we have now, we're the best car on the racetrack. We're going to be the one to beat now that we got the setup dialed in mid-race. It didn't start out that way. We had good equipment, but not quite the race-winning equipment, but now it's a race-winning car. I was not expecting that guy to pit right there. I didn't have time to check up. Luckily, he got to the apron as quick as he did. I didn't hit him anyway. It startled me a little bit, not going to lie. Little over 2 hours into the race. With the one caution that we've had so far today. Just ran our fastest lap, 22.047. I wonder if we're going to get a caution-free race on this season. Because, again, we haven't yet. We've got no more 50% races on the year. We've ran all 4 of them through the first 10 races. Tomorrow's going to be a long one. 500 miles at Pocono. Where both of those races are on the schedule, too. We're going to have both of them probably in the span of about a week or so. Week and a half, I guess, with the modified stuff we still got going on. Yeah, Pocono, Michigan is going to be interesting because they're intermediate tracks, but longer straightaways on those tracks. And I really lack straightaway speed in this equipment with the 22 car on the intermediate tracks. I mean, again, California, we got bailed out by a late caution, one on fuel mileage. Probably would have finished a lap down outside the top 20 if that had not happened. This could be our last win for a while. We haven't had a road course race yet this season, so no clue how Infineon or Watkins Glen are going to go. And Infineon's going to be after the Pocono and Michigan race. We finished 25th in the Daytona 500, but led laps and had a good car in that race. So the Pepsi 400 at Daytona, we'll have to see how that goes. So those will be the next 4. Those 4 races are definitely going to be question marks. They could go really good. They could go really bad. I'm not as optimistic for Pocono and Michigan, though. I just don't lead a lot of laps. A mile and a half and bigger tracks. That are not in super speedway, of course. That's just kind of been how the season's going. As optimistic as I try to make myself to be, the facts are the facts. I just don't have the cars there. I'm glad that, you know, of the intermediate tracks that are in the chase, they're only mile and a half tracks. I think that could be a little bit better for us. I mean, we finished 5th at Charlotte. That's one of them. 11th at Texas. You know, it's not like a California where I may run 20th or worse. You know, both of the California races are in the regular season. Both the Michigan races, both the Pocono races in the regular season. Indy's in the regular season. But there's so many short tracks, obviously, in the regular season. Hence this one here today. And all the others that we've won at already this year. The reason why we have 9 wins on the season. Racking them up now so we can try to clinch that regular season title. And if it's down to a close race towards the end of the regular season, I know we go to Bristol and Richmond in 2 of the last 4. So that could be makeable. Very winnable races. Considering I won both of those tracks already. Led the most laps in them too, max points days. Alright, I was going to say I'm going to try to make it to pit stops. But I think we're going to have to take a bathroom break right now. I don't think I'm going to make another 20 to 30 laps. So I'll get to the back straightaway. I'm going to pause it for a couple minutes here and step away. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. Hopefully I don't crash when I unpause it when I come back. Right, I'm back. I should have did a thanks for everybody staying, by the way, as well. Actually, we gained viewers since I since I had to take that short break. Yeah, I knew I was not going to make it anywhere close to the end. We still got 106 laps to go. Bathroom break is over. I should have taken a radio broadcast moment there. Said something about like, we're going to take a quick break. Station identification. All right. I didn't jump out of a rhythm after pausing it, so that's good. Good little race going right now. Good race for ourselves going. Dale Jr., by the way, is already pit, so got more cars still working their way to pit road currently as we speak. And honestly, being at lap 298, cars are still pitting right now. I would imagine that, again, there will be drivers that will have to pit before the end of the race one more time. But there are definitely going to be some that will make it. We're definitely going to make it on one more stop if we were to stay green. If a caution comes out, may see some split strategy, but we're definitely going to have some cars pit, so I'm going to end up hitting pit road if we catch a caution at any point in time from now to the finish. We're in our fuel window. We've been able to go about 105 laps on a full tank, so we are good on fuel to the end. Yeah, but even if we end up making this third stop, I'm still going to pit again before the end of the race. If, again, we end up catching the caution. Obviously, if it stays green, I'm not. I'll stay out, try to win it that way. Yeah, I'm definitely taking Christmas off from streaming, that's for sure. I'll be with the fam as well. Honestly, I think that's going to be the last off day for at least the calendar year through December. Before we got the big plans scheduled for 2025. I think 2025 is going to be a good year for the channel. I honestly think we get into the NASCAR season, things click off right out of the gate. I think I can get to 10,000 subscribers before the end of next NASCAR season. I really do think so. I mean, we have a little, we're obviously past halfway there now. During the season, I usually get anywhere between like 2 to 3, so I'm going to need a little bit of a spike at some point. And I think when NASCAR 25 comes out in the fall next year, I think that's where that spike is going to come in, and that's going to help me through the off season more. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, because we've got some big things lined up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely going to get to more races, so more at-track content with the live, or not the live stream, but the race highlight videos. Those seem to do pretty well. You know, I was not going to do what drivers do when they have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the race. I was going to pull a Watkins Glen Tony Stewart moment there. You know, when I raced, though, growing up, I never did that. Like, even as a kid, and I feel like, you know, kid bladder would be, like, not as good as an adult, but I never went to the bathroom. If anything, there were times I had to go. We'd be, like, working on the cart, and by the time I'd have to, like, go out, I'd have to go to the bathroom, but I didn't. But I'm like, it's just a heat race. You know, it's only going to be like 5 to 10 minutes. It would give me the motivation to try to, like, run clean laps to get the race done as soon as possible. I felt like it made me go faster. I was trying to get it done with as quick as possible so I can hit the bathroom as soon as it got done. Yeah, I never once went to the bathroom, quote unquote, in my fire suit. Never once did that. I don't know how they do it, honestly. It just, I don't know. I'm very sanitary, and that's unsanitary, so I try to, yeah, I don't know. I don't, like, I'm wearing gloves if I'm working outside and stuff. Like, granted, a lot of that is because I don't want to cut my hands up, but, you know, when I'm at work, too, I'm wearing gloves all the time. Definitely going to be pitting within a couple of laps. This would be our 101st lap since leaving pit road. About 104 to 105 seems to be that number that we've gone the last couple runs when we haven't had a caution in the middle of green flag stops. Or at least excluding the caution laps from that. And we definitely got to make sure we don't speed on pit road this time around either. Tune in for the next race. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Pocono tomorrow, noon Eastern time is what we'll be looking at for that one. Lap 314, we're going to pit this time by. It'll be the final stop of the race. Clean ones other than the speeding penalty itself, but that was a driver error on the last stop. And we'll be pitting this time here. There we go. Ooh, little slide. Oh, that was perfect, though. I was right at 70 as we hit the commitment line. That slide costed me a little bit of that slowdown period to try to brake before hitting the commitment line. Well, we got it. Yeah, final stop. Unless we catch caution. All right, there we go. I don't see Dale Jr. anywhere. He might be that next car a little bit further back there. It's hard to tell for sure. I don't think it is, though. Looks like somebody else. Clean stop. And Dave Blaney is still the leader. After everything that's gone on here at Dover, 1.9 second lead, in fact. Might be the largest lead of the day. For the 22, at least. Good job by the boys all day. They were very iffy at the 600. They'd have one good stop, and then the next stop they'd mess up, and then they'd be fine, and then they would mess up again. There were only 3 pit stops here today. You know, maybe there's less pressure, less stops. Still got one more if we catch a caution, so they are still going to have to be on the ready. But it's also going to depend how many laps we have left, though, because I don't want to take the risk of pitting. You know, if we have like 10 to go, I'd rather stay out at that point. But if we catch a caution with more than 20 laps left, I think there's a very high probability I'm hitting pit road. I did see Scott Riggs blowing a motor down in the pit lane that last lap, so he's out of the race. So Vickers and Riggs are out. Not sure that anybody else is. I definitely know the 2 cars involved in the early lap 11 incident where Jimmy Johnson, Jeremy Mayfield, they were both still in the race at that time because I have seen both of them on the track. I've seen Johnson during green flag pit cycling. I think we lapped Jeremy Mayfield earlier. Or maybe I saw him during green flag stops too. I definitely remember seeing him. Blaney's just clinched the most laps led, 81 laps still to go. But it will be a 10 bonus point performance for only leading 7 laps in the Coke 600 yesterday. Much improvement here on this Dover race today. Other drivers that lead laps today would include Dale Jr., Ryan Newman, and Brian Vickers. But I believe those are the only 4 to get at least 1 lap led. A few lead changes between the 8 and the 22, as well as the 12 and the 22. But not going to have nearly as many as what we saw in the 600 yesterday as well.
Get the one respect pays off. Not blocking like usual. Outside, outside, got one outside. Number 105 is moving on you. Right side. Clear, clear, all clear.
So on these tires, we're going to go less laps on this run if we do stay green to the end than what we had the entire race to this point. It would only be about 87 laps from when we, 86 laps from when we cycled off of pit road lap 315 to the finish. It doesn't seem like I've had as much wear the last couple runs since the adjustment. That right front was starting to wear out quite a bit in the second half of the run and the opening tire stint, but haven't seen as much wear since then. Good long run speed in this longevity race car. And yeah, just kind of managing that 1.8, 1.9 second lead. Now, Dale Jr. is obviously still quick, but we're doing a great job of managing the gap right now. Only caught a couple lap cars here and there since exiting pit road. Guess Kurt Busch is in the top 5. Haven't seen him yet today. Yeah, I haven't seen him yet. Top 5, top 10, somewhere around there. I mean, again, only 2 cars that I know are out of the race. Maybe somebody blew an engine in the first 11 laps that I didn't see at the time. I don't recall that. Because usually when they're on pit road after they DNF by way of engine failure, they don't go to the garage. They just kind of sit on pit road until a caution. And then they kind of disappear from pit road and they're in the garage area. I don't know. I swear I catch the 103 and the 105 so much compared to any other car. It could just be me, but I feel like I passed them both a lot, especially in the second half of the race. There I am passing the 103 again. We'll watch the 105 be next some point.
Number 103, keep closing the gap.
Oh, 3 wide up there. Gotta be careful down on the apron. I saw 3 wide right in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Oh, there's still 3 wide, 3 and 4. That is a mess up there. I'm just hoping they don't wreck. They've thinned out a little bit. That was getting pretty dicey. Not that far in front of us either. Leads down to 1.4 seconds. Elliott Sadler, who's a lap down, I believe, is actually kind of closing in on us out of nowhere as well. A lap Kyle Petty again, Tony Raines, Robbie Gordon just up the way. Maybe Dale Jarrett after that. I don't think I've caught Jarrett yet. No, it might be David Stremme in the 40. I think I see some rookie stripes on the back of the car. Oh boy, contact there. JJ Yaley, it was another rookie. I saw the rookie stripes. I don't know how. Don't tell me how I saw the rookie stripes from as far back as I was. Oh no, it is. Hang on. That is really hard for me to tell. Yeah, it is the 18. Okay. I had the wrong rookie. Raines and Gordon making that contact a little bit in front of us, though. I wonder if they were the cars that were 3 wide with each other earlier. It very well have been. .2 seconds off the lead for Dale Jr. Assuming that, of course, it is Earnhardt that is still in second. Guess we don't know that 100%, but I'd imagine that that would be the case. Could be just passing the lap cars. Might be slowing Blaney up just a little bit. Lap 345. Trying to get back to having a lower exit to the corners. Try to take the shortest route around the track. Get the car pinned down there. Lead is shrinking, though. Jackson Robinson, thanks for tuning in. I wouldn't say I'm choking. I'm running good lap times still. I don't even think that's Dale Jr. I think it's Jeff Gordon. Where did Jeff Gordon come from, and where did Dale Jr. go? Jeff Gordon's got a rocket ship here in the final 100 laps at Dover. I guess he's the Mr. Where did he come from today? It's kind of like what Dale Jr. just kind of had that explosive speed in that second run earlier in the race. I messed up that time. I clipped the apron. That wasn't a great lap. A great corner. Ultimately, it won't be a great lap. 51 to go. Yeah, that's Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon has blazing speed out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to say, I wasn't doing anything wrong. 1.8, 1.9 for a while, and then all of a sudden, here comes Gordon. And Jeff has not led a single lap all day today. We've gone about 340 laps now since our lone caution of the race. Gotta stop looking out of my rear view too much. Starting to wobble in the corners more. Still about a 7/10 of a second difference. He might be getting through the lap traffic a little better than us too, when he was. Alright, got by McMurray and Stremme pretty quickly. That's going to put 2 lappers between the top 2 again. Back to an 8/10 of a second lead. They're side by side right in front of him. Well, they're probably not going to be side by side by the time he gets to him. McMurray just cleared the 40 of Stremme finally. Gordon got down about 7 to 8/10 of a second off the lead, and he just kind of stayed there. Stuck behind McMurray right now, can't get around him. Finally gets underneath him there through 3 and 4. Blaney should gap Gordon that lap. Yeah, about a 10th quicker. Maybe 2. Starting to be a little bit more aggressive with my line the last several laps and actually running a little bit closer to that asphalt now just to try to run the quickest laps that we possibly can. I don't want him to get to us as much as I can help it. We still got a lot of time left, though. That's the problem. We still have 43 laps to go. Gordon finally gets by the lappers, so no lap cars between the top 2. We'll see if he starts to eat into the lead again. It's risky because you don't want to clip that asphalt, but I mean, we have to start pushing because Jeff Gordon's, he's closed that gap. Back to about a second now. He still tries to settle in after getting by the 2 lap cars the last several laps. I mean, it was fresher tires at the front part of the run. Maybe that's why he wasn't catching us right away. We get this deep into the run, though. The 15 to 20 lap fresher tires I would have had, they're pretty even now. Oh, we've already ran 35 plus laps. Oh, well, there's Kurt Busch. Finally saw him for the first time as he has blown a motor. That's, what, 2 races in a row? Didn't he blow an engine in the 600? Oh, no, that was Darlington. My bad. 2 out of the last 3 races. Yeah, because he was leading laps at Darlington. In the Southern 500. Fortunately, blows an engine again. Hurting his chances to try to make it into the chase. I think he's outside the top 10 in points, if I'm not mistaken. Needs to get some good finishes, and it looked like he was going to have a good one today because he's still in the lead lap, but not anymore. It's the 3rd driver to DNF on an engine failure during this green flag run. He had 8 drivers DNF yesterday. One 1.1 second lead. Reed Sorensen, Sterling Marlin losing another lap. .171 car down on the bottom groove of the racetrack. Just able to sneak by on the exit of turn 4. 22.012 that last lap. Fastest lap of the race for the race leader, Dave Blaney, midway through the fuel run. I don't know that we're going to be able to get into the 21s, but that's a pretty solid lap. Yeah, 22.044 that last lap, another quick one. Another car, that might be a scheduled stop. Dale Jarrett, he's been one of the first cars to pit road all night. All right, so we've reached that point. 30 to go. We are seeing drivers that still have to pit before the end of the race pit. Not everybody is going to be pitting before the finish. We know Dave Blaney's good on fuel. We don't know about Jeff Gordon. We haven't really seen Gordon for much of the day. His pace has backed off a little bit. He got to within 0.7 of a second of the lead. We're starting to get through lap traffic better than we did at the start of the fuel run. And now the lead's back out to about 1.4 seconds again. Is Jeff Gordon going to pit before the finish? And if so, when will he do it? We're still at that borderline moment of, do you pit or not pit now that we're getting later in the race if we were to see our second caution? Because we're at that point, too, where we're going to have a lot of laps on our tires. But I'm not good on the restarts, though. Remember, way back when we had that lone caution at lap 11, the initial start, I lost 1 to 2 positions pretty much every one of those 2 restarts. So, older tires, I would say there's almost no chance they're going to be able to win. But fresh tires, even if I'm in the outside of the lead on the restart, I may lose another spot or two. It's going to be that much harder. Ideally, if this race stays green to the end, that'll be our best chance to win. But yeah, cautions. I don't like the restart gear we have in it. I spun my tires last time. 1.6-second lead. Another 22.044 again that last lap. Bobby Labonte onto pit road. Jeff Gordon just pit. Because now the lead's 4.2 seconds. So I accidentally clipped the apron again. I don't have to be as aggressive with my line anymore because now that Gordon is pit. We're not racing Jeff Gordon for the win. It might be back to Dale Jr. again. So Gordon's going to fall off the lead lap. We're going to have very few cars on the lead lap at the end of this race. We are already going to have quite a few because of how long the green flag run has lasted, but with that as well. So I'd assume it's probably back to Dale Jr. in second. 20 to go this time by. I just heard a couple of cars make contact with each other on pit road. Did you guys hear that too? I don't know if the race volume's up loud enough. I heard a big crunch. And I think I saw it too. It looked like somebody was pulling right into their pit box. I heard a... Hopefully all the pit crew members are okay there. Sounded like quite the collision. Still a 4.5-second lead. Well, now it's the largest lead Blaney's had all day. No wonder Jeff Gordon was pushing so hard. It's like, well, I'm not going to make it on fuel anyway. Tried to get the track position before potential caution. He just never got the caution. Got as high as second. Never led a lap either. Of not getting to the lead. He didn't lead at all in the race before that. Yeah, that next question, is Dale Jr. going to be able to make it on fuel for these final 15 laps? I believe he was only a few laps out from 100 to go last time. Still got cars pitting. As our crew chief just yelled in our ear about. 4.8-second lead, 4.9. Didn't notice him pitting there. 12 laps left at the line. Earnhardt pit. I was like 6/10 quicker than second place that last lap. I wonder if Earnhardt pit, whoever was in third just behind him stayed out, or vice versa. Maybe he fell out of second, or what would have been, third and then back to second after Gordon pit. 6. Now that guy's pitting. Maybe we are going to be the only one that makes it on 3. I mean, there were guys that were able to go 100 laps earlier. Caught Paul Menard in a bad spot as he was getting off of pit road. We'll cross him over off turn 4, get back to the bottom. 9 laps left at the line, and we do have a 1 lap lead on the field now. Well, there you go. That might have won the race for us then. I would have thought somebody... I mean, I guess other guys could make it if they were already a lap down. Maybe some lap cars make it cycle up into the running order a little better. 8 laps left, though, for Dave Blaney. And might end up being way more of a cakewalk than I would have expected. Well, it's kind of a bummer it didn't play out naturally. We still could catch a caution. Second place would get the free pass, being the first car 1 lap down. I'm definitely staying out of the pits now, though. I don't want to give anybody the wave around. Well, it's weird because it seemed like some of the cars made it longer on the 3rd fuel run than this 4th one that we're currently on. Well, we saw the last of the guys pit with 8 or 9 laps to go. Like, they weren't close. I mean, they were, 8 to 9 miles short. We'll take it any way we can get it. 10 to go. Like I said, Pocono, Michigan, the next 2 races, the next 2 days, they're going to be tough. I don't know that we're going to have great speed there. Take advantage of the 1 mile and shorter tracks as we always do, and here we are again. Although the start, I wasn't as fast out of the gate as I would have thought. We got to working on the car. We got it to where it needed to be, and then I was able to go on, start leading a bunch of laps, and eventually it's going to be a max points day yet again. A lot of intermediate tracks over the summer schedule. We'll just have to hope we get good runs. Again, the road courses are a big question mark. We'll have that coming up pretty soon at Infineon, 3 races from now. Back to Daytona after that. Chicagoland. It'll be an interesting summer. Summer schedule. It's obviously nearly winter. Real time. White flag in the air. 1 caution this entire race. We had 9 and 400 laps in a 600-mile race yesterday. 400-mile race today at Dover. Just 1 all the way back at lap 11. Jeremy Mayfield, Jimmy Johnson. 2-car incident off turn 4. And Dave Blaney gets win number 10. Racking them up. He's got almost as many as his son now. Looks like everybody from 6th on back finished at least 2 laps down. I just saw Newman ended up finishing in 7th. After he had led early. Burn it down. That's a pretty good burnout. I'll take that. All right. Jeff Gordon, after all that, still finished second, so I guess it worked out for him in the end. No laps led. Greg Biffle actually finished third with no laps led, and Dale Jr. fell to fourth towards that final run of the race. Gordon started 15th, 27th for Biffle, 11th for Dale Jr. He led 55 laps. Tony Stewart finishes in 5th, Matt Kenseth 6th, 87 laps led for Ryan Newman in 7th, and he had Kevin Harvick in 8th. 9th was Dale Jarrett. Bobby Labonte rounds out the top 10. One lap margin of victory, 2 hours, 34 minutes, 7 seconds total time of the race. Pretty quick race, really. 155.71 mile per hour average race speed, 20 lead changes, 1 caution. 6 laps led for Brian Vickers as well. And as far as the DNFs, Jay Tyson, Brian Vickers, Scott Riggs. Tyson was on lap 10, so that was before the caution. I was wondering, we did have an engine failure right before the first yellow. And then after Riggs, obviously, we saw Kurt Busch blow an engine. Jimmy Johnson actually blew an engine late. I didn't notice that. That was right as cars were starting to pit, so maybe that's why I didn't see it. But yeah, Johnson blew an engine as well. Started 4th, finished 39th. So 5 DNFs here this afternoon. And we'll take a look at the point standings before we get into the next one. $500 miles, 200 laps at Pocono, the old Pocono old race length. It's going to be a long one. Not as long as the 600 yesterday, but it'll be a long one. That race was just over 4 hours yesterday. What was it, like 4 hours and 3 minutes? Dave Blaney, 285-point lead over Biffle, who does finish third today. Earnhardt ended up in 4th. And those guys were 2nd and 3rd in points, so I didn't really pull ahead much further. Still, obviously, over a one-race lead in the point standings. You could score up to 190 in one race. Newman's still 4th. Sadler's still 10th. Jimmy Johnson is he's 12th right now. That engine failure, I think, just bumped him out. Where was he coming into the race? I have it at the top of the screen. Jimmy Johnson was 8th. He lost 4 spots in the standings with his DNF with just 28 laps to go. Truex had that win in the 600, but he's 15th in points. Kurt Busch, yeah, I mentioned he was outside the top 10 already. 2 DNFs in the last 3 races. He's 17th in points. We might have some big names. Kyle Busch, but technically he's only in his 2nd season, so I'll cut him a little slack. But yeah, I mean, we've got some big names. Mark Martin. Big names outside the top 10 right now. I mean, Dale Jarrett's 6th in points. Great season for Dale Jarrett. And Elliott Sadler. I mean, you got both of the Robert Yates cars in the top 10. Sadler had that DNF in the 600, though. And he dropped back a few spots in the standings. It's just so tight. From Dale Jarrett in 6th. From Dale Jarrett in 6th to Jimmy Johnson in 12th. They're all within one race of each other. Like, mathematically, Johnson could be 6th in points after the next race. That's how tight it is. And that's why he lost 4 spots after he DNF'd today. Tony Stewart's on the bubble. Jeff Gordon's on the bubble. Gordon finished 2nd. That's a big finish for him. I mean, we're halfway through the regular season now after this race, too. 13 down, 13 to go. So it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up. All right, that's going to be it for today's stream. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Again, noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow will be the start of our next stream. Pocono Raceway. Hope to see you for that. Have a good rest of your Saturday, everybody.